So you want a Crossfire and your key gets stuck in the ignition at times. And it's happening more and more often as time progresses. Well, you need to fix this and as soon as possible, because if not, your key will get stuck and then you have a few extra steps to make to get it out. So your key's getting sticky. Let's do this now. Step one, underneath the dash right here, okay, right here, there's a hole, and up there is a Phillips screw. So get your Phillips screwdriver. That's the little star guy. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. That's the little star guy. Okay, so that's a Phillips screwdriver. Go in there, remove the screw. Already been done. Right here you'll have one nut here. It's a number 8, and then there'll be another one right here, another number 8 millimeter. You move backwards a little bit, not too far. You'll see this little concave area. There we go. And there's another Phillips screwdriver, Phillips screw. Sorry, Phillips screw to remove right there. Get that done. Come back on the side panel here where your fuses are. And there's a Phillips screw right there also. So remove those, and then we'll proceed to the next step. All right, so you've got the other screws off. Now what we're going to do is the panel that's underneath the steering wheel has a Phillips screw head as well. So remove that one. I've already done it. It's right here. And then you just remove the panel, and then you'll locate 2 more screws. One there, one there. Remove that, and we should be ready to take the panel down. So you remove the last 2 screws. The panel is now ready to be released and brought down. So in this case here, I will need 2 hands, but it'll pop down. As you can see, it's coming down already. Just have to make sure that everything is unclipped and out of the way. And oh, I forgot 1 screw. So back in here, you can see it's still being held. And where is it? There it is, right beside the hood release switch is the last guy that I forgot. So let's remove this one. Okay, so we got that one down. Now we can just move this out of the way. That's all we need. Make yourself some room. You want to be comfortable. And now we will tackle the issue at hand. And here's where it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the key switch. So a couple of steps to take. There's a electrical connector. Just pinch it and pull it down, and then we'll get underneath here, and we'll get, there's also a plug at the back that you have to remove, and that plug is a little hard to do, but I'll show you a trick on how to get that done. Time to remove the transponder ring, which is this part here, and it's a simple twist and pull. Put this aside, remove your electrical connector. Now time to put the your key in. Turn key to first position. There's a notch on the side here, and what you want to do is grab it and twist it 90 degrees, and it will unlock it, and then the whole thing will come out. Okay, so you'll note that right here there's a flat part. Okay, that flat part aligns with this nylon bushing right here when it enters back in. So you want to grab it around that area there and then twist it. There's your tumbler. Keep these aside, and now we'll change the angle and move on to the next step. And now to remove the parking interlock, it's a black cable right underneath here. Let's see if I can get in there. This guy right here. At the very back of it, and there's the front, at the very back, way back here, there's a little pinch locking tabs that you just pinch, and then you can move the whole thing forward. And you back up. And then you can simply pop this out. Now that's out of your way. The next step is simply to remove the last Phillips screws that holds this panel up here, and just take that off. And what this will do is give you a little bit of extra room. You can pry this up a little bit and you'll be able to get underneath there to release the pin. So let's try to find a camera angle for this here, and which could be a challenge, but let's see what we can do. You can actually see the bolt right here. It's a 10mm bolt, and just unloosen that one up. It's going to take a little bit of a couple of minutes, but you can see it'll release. It'll loosen up the mechanism, and then we can release it, get it out of there, and release the rear connector. So give me a second here, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that you have the bolt loosened up, you can see you can start to wiggle the mechanism itself. Okay, it won't be, you can't release it this way. What you have to do is there's a locking pin, and I'm going to try to show it to you because it's a really tight angle. But right, follow the tip here, right there, this little shiny part. Okay, that's a locking pin. If you notice, okay, it's blocking the release from here. So what you have to do is push it in, and see if I can get it to move here with one hand. No, sorry, I'm gonna have to use both hands, but just push that little tab in. Oh, wait a minute, maybe it did get it going. There we go. So push that in, it'll come out, and then you can remove the entire mechanism itself. Okay, whoop, sorry about that. You can remove the whole thing itself and just pop it out, and then we can move to the rear tab. I need both hands here. One thing I should have mentioned is the instructions that were written on the forum, which are extremely well detailed and very well written and very clear, does suggest that before you remove this and before you even remove the locking pin, keep it all in place and reach out underneath here and grab the connector, the electrical connector that's in the back, and push it towards the firewall. Push it that way to disconnect from the key mechanism. Now, the problem with that is you're at a very bad angle and you don't have a lot of leverage. So by removing it this way, there we go, you have your connector right here, and now all you need to do is just pry it up. As you can see, it's tight. So, and now I have proper leverage on this side here. So there you go. There's the component itself, and here's what we're going to be doing. On this side here, see the shiny bit right here? We're going to be removing that tab, and inside there's a pin and a spring. This is the culprit. This is what causes the sticky key issue. So we're going to bring this to the bench, open it up, and get rid of the two parts. I'll show you that right now. Back at vise, what we're going to do now is just simply punch this guy out. So just grab a corner, and just pry this out. Now you'll note, I'll get something small here, I can grab these guys out. You'll note there's a spring. Okay, there's a spring, and there's a pin. This is the combination that causes the sticky key. Remove those, discard them. You don't have to put the cover back on. If you do, it's up to you. Just put it back in there. You can use it as a shield, but there's not, unless you're in country roads and stuff like that, there's not much that you're gonna as far as dust to get in there. However, if you do prefer putting it back in, that's entirely your option right there, and that would simply mean put it back in and tap it in. Now the next step is the reverse process, is to put it all back into the car, and we will go there in a second. Process to put it all back in, guys, is straightforward, is exactly the reverse as what you did before to remove it. So come back, reinstall your electrical component, make sure it's good in there, good and tight. Okay, wedge it back inside. This part, I don't know if you'll be able to see very well, but basically all you're doing is wedging back everything back inside. And remember to depress the locking pin right here as you go back into the sleeve. So that way there it'll pop, it'll screw right back in, nice and easy. Sorry about that, but not a lot of room underneath here to be showing you the whole process. Anyways, so that's basically it. From this point on, tighten up your bolts, your bolt, not bolts. Okay, make sure it's seated in there nice and well. Tighten up your bolt, reconnect your transponder, reconnect your electrical cables, all three. So you got these three to plug back in. Hope you can see that. All right. Then we're going to put in the tumbler back inside with the key and put your panels all back up, and you will be done. Now for your parking interlock, just an FYI, you'll see it like this here, and you wonder, where did this pin come from? Well, it was there. It was just hidden because when you pull it out, it actually fits in there. Okay, so don't panic and saying, oh geez, it won't fit back in like this way. No, you got to pull it back down a little bit, lift it into position. Okay, make sure it falls into, you saw that, make sure it falls into place, and then just push it back in so that it locks. Right, that was simple enough. Now you can get your connector cables back in there. Up, right in here. Okay, and we're just going to take this off because it's going to make noise for a couple of seconds. But you'll be putting on your transponder ring after you put in your tumbler assembly. And let me get a different angle and we'll move at that one. Okay, so once you have your tumbler back into the hole, what you want to do is align everything up, and then you'll be able to lock it into place. So once you have it locked into place, you'll be able to release it, and then just put your panel back up and move your transponder back in, your electrical wire back in, put your panel back up, and you're all done. Make sure that the wire is at the bottom for your transponder. And here you may have to adjust your the actual mechanism with the bolt if it's up too high or too low and it's not lining up here. So we'll give it a shot here, and this is aligning up perfectly. We got the key back in, sorry, we got the connectors back in, transponder's in, so let's give it a shot. Perfect. So one thing to note is when you are putting in your transponder ring on it is if you take a look here, you'll see a longer piece here. You'll also see a screw, not a screw, but a little pinching arrow. And what you want to do is make sure that you keep the wire below, but then you can adjust the rest. Okay, so what you want to do is put your angles, is your arrows onto the left, and it'll grab and clip right onto here and go on the inside, so that so that it can lock itself. So again, wires at the bottom, insert it. Now turn the outer ring until it connects on the inside. Now it's been locked. Now see, it's locked into place. Time to button up everything, and that's it. So I hope this video helped out those that are having the sticky key issue. And once again, if you know somebody that does have a Chrysler Crossfire and is starting to see this issue happening on their vehicle, please let them know that they should do this ASAP before the key actually does get stuck in there. And as I said, there's a couple of added steps that you would have to do.